And we are recording.
Alrighty. When last we left off, the Wolf Pack, after enduring a very rough battle with the horrors of the underground arcane facility, took to their airship only to find that their ally Garuk was missing. With no time to ponder this, really, they realized the incoming Imperial legions were heading for the Druids, farther into the peninsula. They took to the skies to intercept, attacking and handily defeating the legion they encountered. However, their actions garnered a bit of attention from the leader of the legions, Khalid Alfuerson, the Torch himself. He asked for a parley and satisfied his curiosity of the group after sizing them up a bit, before deciding to leave fairly peacefully, only then to destroy his own remaining legions that had failed their objectives. The pack surveyed the site of one of these bombings and met the leader of the survivors, a green dragonborn named Loki. Loki offered to take them to the Circle of Verdance after seeing they were friendly enough to let his superiors decide what to do. They met with the tree speaker and mentioned the Red Fire name, and so the tree speaker took them to the central grove to meet the Fury of the Forest. This woman, however, turned out to be a woman identical to Terranora Red Fire, who introduced herself as Ilrin Silver, the twins' aunt. And that is where we're picking up almost immediately, as you guys are sitting here in the central grove of the Fury of the Forest. It is still the 18th day of the month of planting, although it's a bit later in the day. And Ilrin has stood up from her meditations and seen the look of shock on on the two twins' faces before saying, "I'm not your mom. My name is Ilrin Silver. Terranora was my sister."
I don't know why I got my hopes up. I'm just like looking at the ground.
I'm so. Oh, you probably thought I was her, didn't you?
Yeah, the wanted poster. The story. It just. Oh yeah. I look at Taylor.
Sure, the wanted poster.
She looks at the description. Oh, that explains. Oh God, Oh, you poor dears.
I thought maybe it was an alias, or I don't know. It sounds dumb saying it now, but
Sweetheart, it's not dumb. I'm so sorry for that. I honestly, I do wish that it had been your mother sitting here in this glade and not me. I don't really, and she's kind of looking at you two, like back and forth, lost for words as well. It's at this point, the rest of the group kind of backing, like sitting behind the twins. Tez just kind of goes, "Okay, I'm gonna go check on the ship. Be right back," and leads off. Loki as well, seeing things getting a little awkward, goes, "I'm gonna go check on my men," and walks off as well. Orin just kind of looks at both of you. So, I'm guessing your mom never did tell you about me, right?
no.
Thought as much. She told me that she wasn't going to until you guys were older. I wasn't sure when that exactly was going to be. How much do you know about the life she had before she had you guys?
I mean, I know that she just gestures broadly.
Yeah, I mean, she was a druid. And thinking back on, like, starting to remember some things, she gets hyper aware of the rest of your party, as Drost and Finn are still there. I'm sorry, I didn't. Hi, so I'm guessing you guys are friends of the twins?
Yep. Finn, Stormraven.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, do you guys want privacy? Or?
Yeah, Drost, I got a project that I could probably use your help with.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I'm like sort of like taking hesitant steps back, like,
Taylor, Tyler, you
ooh,
guys cool?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, you guys head back through the tunnel, exiting the glade.
I headed back to the Misty Step to work on that thing that we talked about.
Yep. Okay. We will cut to that here shortly. As the other two members of the party leave, Ilrin looks back at you twins. Your mom was a druid, yes. In fact, she was the strongest of the circle. She was going to be the job I have now, the Fury of the Forest, the arch druid of the Circle of Verdance. But life had a different plan for her, and when she met your father, she decided to give that up. She didn't necessarily need to. The circle is very welcoming of outsiders that are, you know, friendlier towards our kind and our ways. And your father, human and imperial though he may be, was still a ranger and very comfortable in the woods. So he would have been welcomed. But your mother wanted you to kind of live in both worlds and knew that one day she would teach you about our ways and bring you here to be part of our circle and our community in this world that we inhabit and protect. Obviously, that didn't fully happen. She told me a couple times she was trying to, when things got worse for the druids, she distanced herself enough that she wouldn't be thought to be connected to us until you two were ready for it. So I'm guessing that's why you've never heard of me until now. You were meant to be a part of our group. Both of you were.
That makes sense. I mean, she taught me everything I know.
And you seem just getting a glance at you. She kind of like takes a step back and just kind of looks at both of you, like drinking in your appearances, the, scars, the looks on your faces, like everything about your countenance. This is clearly like you looking at her too. This is a woman who, though she bears the same face as your mom, does not bear any of her mannerisms. Does not bear she doesn't even stand the same way. She has completely different stance and look in her eyes than your mother did. While your mother was very warm and inviting, but also curious, this is a woman who is a little more hardened. She's very analytical when she's looking at you guys, drinking in each piece of your appearance and what it says about you, as well as just sizing you guys up to see what kind of threat you might pose to her and her people. It's a little unnerving seeing eyes that should be fairly familiar to you not be that familiar. Essentially, the eyes of a stranger. But she looks at both of you. It seems like both of you have become fairly accomplished. I can see that much just by looking at you. From what little the tree speaker sent word of the battle that just happened, it sounds like you were more than capable with that ship of yours.
Yeah, that was a lucky coming across the ship.
She kind of chuckles a little. My experience, there isn't much in this world that can be really attested to luck. It's maybe fate would be a better word for it, but mostly skill. Because if you think that there's good luck out there, then there has to be bad luck. Sorry, philosophical. You both probably have questions more than I probably do. Is this weird for you guys? Well, obviously it's weird. Is it uncomfortable? Do you need time? Do you have any questions? How can I best help you with this?
I mean, what are why do you have a wanted poster? Are you Are you part of the rebellion? Are you your own sect? What is happening with that?
So, the Circle of Verdance here in the Verdant Bay Peninsula, technically we are rebels, but in the sense of we manage and protect the forests of this land, and the Empire wants to use that for natural resources. So, when we push back, it causes friction. And it has for many, many years. Since the Empire's founding and conquering of this land, they've been casually taking when they can and being pushed back by the druids of the land when they can't. I'm just the next step in that ladder. But I have been pushing back a little more than most. There, in the last 30 so years, things have gotten worse for the circle, and more land is being taken, more trees being cut down, more animals slain, more everything. And I've had to push back more and more, and it's made us a target. We did receive word, though, of this greater rebellion that seems to be happening in the Redwood. We're not at the heart of it or necessarily tied to it, but we're not exactly friends with the Empire either. Especially, and she, like, did you give her did you show her the poster, or did you just give it to her?
I handed it to her.
She looks at it again, looks at the amount. I mean, you're going to be worth a number. At least it's a high one, right?
Yeah, our group's our group is worth a pretty penny.
We're wanted by the Empire too.
Oh yeah, yeah. We've been causing a stir.
She gets a little bit of a smile on her face. Yeah, that would be the Silver blood in you, I imagine. If you don't mind my asking, what exactly are you wanted for?
Treason.
Oh, that old thing. I mean, yeah. Okay. Well, at the very least, it means that we're probably on the same side of that conflict then, right?
I'm assuming so. Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Well, in that case, we're happy to be of any assistance we can be. As Fury of the Forest, I welcome you and your group to the Circle of Verdance and offer what we can.
Thanks. This might be a weird question, but is there a way to join without having to like stay?
He just kind of
Because I
looks
mean,
at you. Yeah, we do have wandering druids that don't necessarily, like, they're part of the circle, but they wander the peninsula and such. I'm assuming you would want to wander a bit farther than that, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you come here real quick? I want to see something.
I like kind of like quirk an eyebrow and then make my way over.
I promise not to bite. I have a curiosity that I think will answer your question and some of mine.
All right.
She holds her hand out, asking for your hand.
I hand her my hand.
You see, she holds your hand from underneath, kind of cupping it a little bit, so your hand's on top, palm upward. And with her right hand, you watch it engulfed in flame as a produce flame spell. And she looks like she's begins hovering it over the palm of your hand, not high enough or close enough to start burning it or anything, but you just feel a little bit of warmth, kind of like passing your hand over the top of a candle flame. And after a couple passes of that, you eventually see a marking appearing on the middle of your hand. It's a green, almost like viridian colored circle with a very tiny stylized tree in the center of it. Oh, I don't think we need to have you join, because it looks like you are already a member of the Circle of Verdance, my dear.
I guess that makes sense. She's just kind of looking at it like, why haven't I ever noticed this before?
I'm guessing that's new to you as well. More than likely, your mother put that on you when you were a baby, and she holds up her own left hand, and currently in the palm there is nothing there, but she just kind of like, she doesn't necessarily make any movement, but you watch as you can almost kind of feel her focus go into her own hand, and the same circle insignia shows up in there.
I look at
We
Taylor
got very good at
and
hiding our membership.
I look at Taylor and I'm like, you have one of these too, right? Come here. Come here.
I don't know.
If you want to come here, I can see if yours is there as well.
Yeah, I'll come over and offer my hand out.
Okay. She does the exact same thing, and the same circle appears, but with an arrow through it, through the side. Oh.
Ooh.
Well, I guess that makes sense since you aren't necessarily a druid. All that mark means is that you were, if you had chosen to officially join us and seek training here and be a part of the community, you would have been better suited for the protectors.
Okay.
But it looks like your mother wanted to make sure that you had a home, no matter what. So, young Red Fires, welcome home.
Thank you. This is a lot to take in all at once.
Yeah, I imagine. Would it be weird if do you want me to change my face or anything? Like, I'm trying to find the best way to make you guys a little more comfortable, and I just keep coming back to the fact that I am wearing a face that looks probably very too familiar to you.
I'm okay with it. It's fine.
You
Yeah,
sure? I mean,
to
it's
me,
no trouble, but
I find it oddly comforting, if that makes sense. I don't
Yeah.
understand why. I mean, I know it's not mom, but it just kind of feels okay. So
Yeah.
well, I'm glad it's okay then. If it does make you uncomfortable, please tell me, because I knew about you existing. Terranora wanted to, keep her distance with you until you were of age, and I respected that decision, as did the rest of the circle. But we did know about you, and it was just a matter of waiting for her to bring you to us. And when she passed, well, we didn't really know what happened to you too. So, it's probably the feeling I'm feeling right now, seeing you both here, is probably a very different feeling than what you two are feeling, seeing someone with this face. So, like, if there's anything I can do, if there's any questions, please do not hesitate. Because I'm very happy to meet both of you, and I'm happy you're both here. And I'm happy that we have family together. I don't want to mess that up by, well, I don't want to mess that up.
Okay.
And she looks up and sees the sun starting to get a little lower in the sky. It's late. You guys had a battle. Oh God, you guys had a battle. Yeah. Take some time. I know. She got, like, her eyes glaze over for half a second, and you feel this, like, force go through the forest as she's, like, communing with nature around her. Your ship was already brought in closer to the circle, and it looks like your compatriots are already there, doing some things with it. So take some time, recuperate, figure out what you need to. If you want to come by whenever you have time, later tonight or tomorrow, whenever you're ready, I will be here, and we can talk more if you want. Or if you're just here to figure out what's happening next, I'll be here for that too.
Okay.
Okay. and she, like, it's not necessarily a dismissal, but she understands like you guys probably need a little space and time, and kind of takes a step back into her glade, has a smile on her face. Go ahead and both of you roll me an insight check. There's a 1. There's a 2. Both of you can kind of see she is very happy to like have finally met you guys, that you're alive, that you're here, and part of the community that your mother was apparently very tied to. But you can definitely see that there is that bit of sadness of not only the loss of your guys' mom, but what it represents that you guys came here and were expecting Terra Nora and not her. So it's not necessarily a sadness that like is directed at you guys, but it's a sadness at the situation of they came here not looking for their aunt. They came here looking for their mom, and I'm not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She takes her step back, and you guys eventually turn around and head through the tunnel back to meet up with the rest of your group as you ponder everything that's led you to this point and how this could have shaken out. With that, we will cut to slightly before that conversation happens, as Drost and Finn are walking away and heading towards where the Misty Step has been brought and parked. Trouble, what are the two of you getting into?
All right, Drost. Here's the thing. I don't like having that ship named after that, named what that dickhead named it. So I've been talking to the first mate, and we're going to give the Misty Step a new name today.
All right. How can I help?
Well, we need to. How are you at like destroying like magical items?
Well, I can. I might be able to, if I can channel enough, like, of the opposite type of magic that created it into the item.
All right, we can do that. Because we got to do is we got to get all the name off of it, and then there's a sacrifice, and then we give it the new name.
Whoa,
So I'm thinking that
sacrifice.
rapier we took off of that guy we killed would make a perfect sacrifice. Because it's tied to him. It was like his like magic focus. So
Sure.
I figure that'd be a pretty good symbolic sacrifice. So if you can get that thing destroyed, we can probably even get Tesla like hit it with his hammer or something.
Yeah, I mean, I might be able to handle the magic stuff and the physical stuff. Yeah, I would imagine. I don't know. Tez seems to do pretty well at destroying just about anything. So
That's true.
maybe that's his wheelhouse.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm happy to take a look. Hey,
Cool.
how are you holding up with that curse situation? I might be able to. I don't know if I can like completely get rid of it, but I might be able to at least identify what's going on with it to see how we can try to mitigate it.
It's not great.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not great. Like you guys are just shy of like looking like chicken legs just walking around.
Yeah, all right. Well,
It helps to have something to focus on. So
yeah, sure. I guess.
Idle hands spend time with the genitals. We know how much God hates that.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, get back to the Misty Step and get to work. I'll get the fucking crew to taking off the old Misty Step name.
All right, it's not too difficult. It's a little bit of carpentry, so you end up getting Orlean, the Dragonborn carpenter. He starts just prying out the He's already been working on repairs because the ship was damaged in a few different spots. So it's not too hard to peel him off though, and have him essentially just chip away at the spots where the name of the ship was on the stern there.
And I probably talked to him about this like in the past, so
yeah, I assumed you would have talked to everybody about it. Rulo was very excited for it. Not gonna lie, it's gonna be nice having a new name on a new ship. Well, new-ish ship.
Yep.
And as far as the sacrifice and destruction of magical items, yeah, Dros, you're more than capable of doing that. You took enough enchanting classes in college that deconstructing an enchantment like that just to get rid of it. Not too difficult. It's when you have to transfer it that things get a little hairy. So pure destruction, though, it's within your wheelhouse.
Cool.
But you guys start working on that. It would take a couple hours. So by the time you guys are going to get done, it'll get closer to night. And when you're like well into the process by this point, eventually the twins show back up at the ship.
Hey, you guys got good timing. We're renaming the Misty Step tonight.
Oh,
Yep.
do you guys have any like contenders?
Oh, I've already got it. It's all done. Like, can't say
Oh.
the name yet because you got to cleanse it of the old name first. It's bad luck to give a ship a new
Right.
name.
It's Bodie
Right.
McBoatface.
Not gonna lie, I like as a DM, I don't know the name of the ship yet. And if it's Bodie McBoatface, I'm probably gonna put my fist through my monitor.
Bodie.
Well, now
It's not
we
gonna be
have
Bodie
to call it that.
McBoatface. No, I've had this name for weeks. So
Yep, I know you have. All right. Yeah. Twins, are you doing anything to assist, or you just chilling out and decompressing?
Yeah, chilling for
I'll
the most
help.
part.
All right.
Keep him
More
busy.
hands
Helps me
make it
keep
go
my
a little
minds
bit
off
faster.
stuff.
By the time you would normally be looking for dinner and settling down, the ship has been thoroughly had its name scrubbed off of there, and it's ready to apply the new name and cleanse it whenever you're ready.
all right. Yep. Let's make the sacrifice. Let's make it happen.
All right. Have
Drost.
the item in front of you. Drost, if you would go ahead and please roll me an Arcana check. You have time to do guidance if you wish.
Oh yeah,
I'll help
I
him
would-
out. So
I would
you
make
can roll with
sure to do
advantage.
as much as.
Yep. Take it with advantage then.
Okay.
I have a connection to the power that
guidance,
kind of
because why
gave
not?
that dude his juice. So
Man, it's been a while since I've. Where is?
Yeah,
What
it's
I
not
had- oh, yeah,
Foundry, is it?
guidance. There we go. Yeah, switching systems. All right. Arcana. Here we go. Oh, that might work.
I think a 28 will do it. Yeah. You begin channeling power into this rapier, and you watch as the rapier itself doesn't shatter, but the magical aura that was around it glows with an intensity that makes it literally visible to the naked eye. Rulo himself, who was kind of just helping supervise and watch all this, takes a step back. All right, I'm backing up. Magic shit. And the aura itself explodes. None of you are affected by it. It's just a simple little wave that washes over the deck of the ship. And the aura is gone.
I will take out one of those fancy whiskey bottles I have, crack it on the hull. I christen thee the Rebel Yell.
Ooh.
Nice.
Holy shit, I love it.
Very
Rulo
nice.
immediately lifts up a fucking flask and goes, "The Rebel Yell!"
To the Rebel Yell!
And with that, drinks are shared all around between crew. You eventually get a couple weird looks from some of the circle members down low, and they after a couple more crew yells of "To the Rebel Yell," a couple of soldiers off just every once in a while you'll hear "To the Rebel Yell." The ship has been officially rechristened.
Very nice.
Nice.
I need
I
to
would-
update a character sheet.
I would probably have been spending a lot of the time, with when I wasn't helping the re-christening effort and stuff like that. Kind of just trying to get to know more about, primarily the arcane engine situation on the ship.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me another Arcana check.
Oh boy. Okay. No, check off advantage.
25. You one more check. Go ahead and roll me a history check as well.
Oh dear.
No, it's
History.
this is going to be whether or not you. Oh God, both
Aha.
25s. Okay.
On guard, sir.
You are pretty easily able to figure out how this ship functions. The arcane engine there in the center essentially powers a couple different enchantment runes along the hull that cause it to lift, as well as a couple enchantment runes in the back that cause it to gain speed. The wheel and some of the fixtures around it. It's about halfway through realizing, like, oh, I kind of get how this works at a very easy glance. No, why? This is different than most of the arcane airships. That, granted, there aren't a lot of arcane airships out there. Airship technology is kind of a new thing in the last like 10 years or so. You've been seeing more and more. Total in the Empire, there's probably not even like 10, and most of those, about half of them, are owned by the Imperial Navy and used in the same way that your ship is kind of used in both actual water transportation and air transportation when they need to. The other 5 are owned by noble houses. But this particular kind of arcane engine and the runes used for it and things like that, you've read about in a manual it was published by another Imperial scholar human with a lot of subtext by an Imperial engineer known as Narret.
So I'm familiar with the association to this guy. Would I be familiar with like who the guy is, or like what sort of associations he
The main
has?
engineer who's like technically authored as putting out the manuals and stuff for this, he puts out a lot, like his name is on a lot of different Imperial engineering and arcane texts and things like that, usually really like run of the mill stuff. You do remember that some of the more enlightened and interesting designs that are a little more unique in power and scope and design typically have that that co-author of Narret on it. You do not know any more information about Narret, though.
Okay. One more name to the research list.
Now, my next question would be: would you mention any of that to the party?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily about the clandestine stuff. I would just, well, I would ask them how much they know about the ship, and yeah, I'd ask, the group, them as a group, probably not necessarily individually.
I don't know shit
Maybe,
about it. I know we killed the dickhead that used to have it and took it as ours.
Sure. Interesting.
I'm assuming it flies using magic.
Well, yeah, it's a bunch of different enchantments and stuff like that. I just offhanded remember some of the design being connected to a pretty popular engineer that designed some pretty high-end stuff, named Narret. Anyone familiar
Wait, is
with that?
Is that the Tinkerer? She
You
a goblin?
recognize that name? Yep.
Yeah, she lives in Hilltown. She's the reason we didn't kill my dickhead adopted brother.
You would also remember she's a member of the Black Blades.
Yes.
Torch and several other people.
It's just mostly her and the Torch, though, because the Wanderer, the Traveler's dead. The Wolf, is that what the...
Yep.
Yeah, she's pretty much flipped.
Oh, so you're saying that this ship was designed by, or had ties to the organization that the Torch and, well, I suppose that makes sense if they're all,
Yeah, the Traveler was one of his
Traveler
lieutenants, and
sort
so...
of all...
I think we had heard that Narret made the ship, right? or at least helped make it?
Yeah, the information you had, in fact, you have the manual, and her name is on it, and only her name is on it.
Sure, I suppose that would make sense then.
Yeah, from what you guys remember, she designed this ship specifically for the Traveler to be crew. It could this ship can be fully crewed, like a normal sailing ship, just like any other, or it can be flown entirely solo, and that was 100% the work of Narret, making sure that should the Traveler need to do anything clandestine and solo, or if he lost his entire crew in something, he would still be able to function in this ship without any other issues.
So it's pretty convenient.
Yeah, that's good.
Hell yeah. Cuts down on travel time. Plus, you have to feed horses. Figure out how to drive a wagon.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna, add to the group. This is kind of something that, really interests me. So I'm gonna probably stick with just trying to familiarize myself with as much of it as possible in the case that we need to know more about it.
Yeah,
If you don't mind.
go for it.
Go nuts, man.
All right, and with those Arcana checks, Gross, essentially, yeah, you understand the fundamentals of how this thing runs, and have a pretty good grasp of if something breaks, how to fix it.
Cool. That, sure that'll come in handy. How much shit is we're going to get into, I could imagine.
Can't hurt if you guys get into combat with it, so. All right, but you guys kind of settle down from cheering and all that after christening the ship. Is there anything you guys are doing before plunking down for a long rest?
I'm assuming nothing that I've tried so far has alleviated this hunger, right?
Not even a little bit. Your thirst is very well sated after drinking with your companions, but the hunger itself has not gone away at all.
Cool.
Before we turn in, I would probably attempt a couple of the spells that I have at least prepared. I don't know, okay, so I think it was just detect magic that I had gotten sort of an idea of that this was a curse.
Yeah, when you did detect magic in the arcane lab, you remember seeing this very large shroud of shadow and darkness kind of latched onto him.
Well, I'd sit down and cast Identify to see if I could get a sense of if it's a spell or not. If it's because it does help me get an idea of if they're affected by a spell. This might not be a spell, so I wouldn't have high hopes. But depending on if that gives me much, I would also try a dispel magic just to see if that touches it at all.
Okay. For the Identify, roll me a flat intelligence check.
Flat intel.
Okay. It's high enough that it doesn't give you any information about the curse specifics or anything like that, but what you are able to identify is that it is fully latched onto Finn as a person, and as soon as you start just kind of sorting through what exactly that means, it's going to take something strong to pull this thing off. It is latched into him.
Sure. Yeah, so it seems like, I don't know if it's the hunger itself, but the hunger was really trying to feed off of energy. So this thing is woven into your being. I don't mind trying, the magic that I have on it, but we might need to look for like some seriously powerful restoration type magic, which I'm not. I'm not bringing anything like that.
Yeah, no, give it a shot. This is how many days have I been cursed? 2 days.
This is the same. This is the same
It's
day.
the same day still.
Yeah.
Oh,
All of
God,
that stuff
I
in
feel
the
like
lab, that was this morning.
I feel like I'm fucking eating for a week.
Shit.
Yeah, I am pretty tapped out on spell slots, but I do have a third level. So I'll hit him with dispel magic and see if I can, even just pry at it a little bit.
Okay. You said third level dispel magic.
Yeah, well, it's a third level spell, and I have one or 2 slots of them left. So there is some.
You take 17 points of
required.
psychic damage as
Oh,
your spell.
cool.
Your spell not only completely fails, but whatever entity, like essence of this curse, feels you trying to tug at it with something less than what it would be needed to remove it, it lashes out at you as well.
Holy. Okay.
It fully rebuffs your mind, and you feel the blood coming down your nose.
Yeah, like as I'm trying to, recover. Wow, I wasn't expecting that.
It did not work.
But I definitely didn't expect it to work, but I was not expecting that level of. It's like it's like there's a consciousness or something like that that's fighting against it. So, yeah, I mean this is way out of my league, even to identify. So
Tyler,
I wouldn't know where to start with that.
Tyler, you're healing. Can you do anything? This sucks.
Yep. I help. Hang on. I'm pretty sure I have Cure Wounds prepared. I'll cast that.
On Finn?
On Drost, I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
go ahead.
I
And
mean,
roll.
I'm not necessarily hurting too bad, but I appreciate that.
And I can do another one on Finn too.
Okay, Dros gets 13 back. Is this a first level Cure Wounds?
Yeah, they're both first level.
Okay.
One on each of them.
You take a point of damage, psychic damage, as you try to heal Finn.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Finn does get the healing,
Ow.
but if he was missing any hit points, but
I was not. I already tried the vampiric touch to heal back up, and it did not work.
Okay, cool. All
I
right.
think I even drank a healing potion.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we tried that restoration stew as well, which was
Yep,
supposed
I did
to
do
be
shit.
like resting, and I didn't touch it. You might. I don't know what kind of magic the druids here have, but you might want to talk to someone here about that. I mean,
I might be able to help tomorrow.
I was just about to remind you guys that now that you hit level 9, after you take a long rest, someone has access to 5th level spells.
Yeah.
And my toe has access to a wish spell.
That is also true.
Oh,
Fuck
shit.
your toe.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It does have access to that.
I mean, I could probably fix this.
Now, hold on. Do you say that out loud? Because this would be the first time Dros is hearing about that ring.
No, I was reminding them out of character that I still have that ring on my foot.
Yeah, it would have not escaped Roast. It would definitely I forgot about it, but
That's true. You did earlier do a detect magic, and you did pick something very artifact level power.
Yeah, I mentioned it, when we were still in the compound, right? I think.
Yeah, I think you two were in a room alone.
And we definitely didn't get into it, but I would definitely bring it up again. Hey, just you don't. I'm not expecting everyone to share all their secrets, but just so you know, I mean that might be hidden from regular view, but anyone or anything with a really simple enchantment would be like nearly blinded by whatever power is in your boot there. So I don't know if you want to try and hide it any better, then we're going to have to come up with a different way of suppressing that aura.
I mean, I wasn't really trying to hide it from anybody. It's just I want it there so nobody can like easily take it off of my hand, like with just a little trick of just distracting me and slide it off my
Yeah,
finger or something like that. So it's in a spot that's going to be very difficult for it to actually come off.
yeah. Just don't, get your toe cut off or something.
Oh, I know.
So, I mean, you guys feel like your, I guess, aunt's crew has somebody that can fix this?
I'm assuming so, but then again, I don't know what the fuck is going on with that.
I mean, there's
With
only
them or
really
with
one
me?
way to find out.
With
So
with you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach into my bag and be like, "Hey, Jives, do you?
Yes.
Hey, uh, so you kind of got a little bit of knowledge on like the prince and how he's been interacting. Sorry, Finn. I can go back out of the way here. Shit.
And gets a small nosebleed.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna try and hush my voice and at least like, hey, I just try and work something out here to get. I don't know if this guy knows anything else, so I'm gonna stroll a little ways away and not try to cause Finn another nosebleed, but be like, yeah, hey, with our talk about the prince and stuff like that, do you have any idea like what sort of one of these guys got a really nasty curse that seems to be like literally fighting back.
Hey,
Um,
does it trigger if I read lips to see that name?
No, it does not.
Okay. Because my
It is.
passive perception is
There's something about
stupid fucking
hearing the
high.
actual. There's something about hearing the actual word.
Is he far
That
enough
does
away
it.
for me to not hear him since my perception is so high?
You know what? I leave that up to you.
Probably not. He probably wasn't far enough away. I probably still heard it. Oh, God damn it!
no. Oh, yeah, sure. The second
Thanks
time,
for
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
nothing, Eldath. You're a dick.
You normally, when you've been like lately, when you've been sassing off to him, you normally get some kind of response. There's just nothing but silence this time.
Cool.
For the first time in at least the last year, this is probably the emptiest your head has felt.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. You dress. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just making sure I couldn't hear you.
No, that's fine.
Damage me psychically again.
Yeah. I mean, I for sure wouldn't have like covered my mouth or anything like that. I'd have been just out of an attempt, obviously futile attempt, to not be obvious. No, I'd just like, hey, Jives, what's the deal, with the prince and like I don't know, the other elder gods and stuff like that. Seems like there's relationship. I'm like, you know a lot more about these sort of eldritch situations than I do.
Oh, you are
You want to
requesting
do this?
information on the creation war, are you?
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Oh, that is one of my
Sure.
areas of expertise. Hold on 1 second. I gotta get my notes now. Yeah. So to spare anyone from having to listen to half an hour of me talk in that voice, essentially he gives you a rundown of the Creation War, which was a from an arcane's perspective, it's seen as like seen in the same way the Big Bang Theory is set in modern times. Uh, there's no way to really prove that this is how things went down, and the church has some less than savory thoughts about this entire theory. But it's essentially the idea that back before Meritor, even the material plane even existed, there were thousands upon thousands of cosmic beings of different scales, and typically it fell into two categories: chaos and creation. Eventually, those two categories started fighting, causing essentially the creation war, where these beings were just spinning up planes of existence and creatures to fight for them and throwing them at their enemies to see what happened. One of the leaders of the sides of creation were the prime beings, and the leader of the prime beings was Eldath, the elder god. He was seen as this figure of immense proportion, essentially encompassing like time, perspective, a lot of like very metaphysical concepts and things that typically don't get a lot of like worship as like a traditional god domain. He was also known as the all-seeing eye because he would typically see everything. The other side of that, the chaos side, were typically led by the Dark Ones, the leader of which was Demogorgon, the Prince of Demons. This essentially this dark entity of power and hunger and hatred that didn't necessarily want to do anything other than destroy and deconstruct everything in its path. From what's known about Demogorgon, and again, all very like theoretical concepts. This is essentially the arcane and like celestial equivalent of quantum physics, things that we can't necessarily see or prove. It's just kind of theory of how this all happened. Demogorgon was, as the leader, 100% was just like, I don't want to make a world in my image. I don't want to enslave that which already exists. I want to wipe the slate clean, and there is nothing there. He had no plan other than get rid of it all.
All right.
Yeah, you get like I can link you the document if you want, but I can I'll throw a cut down version of it into your knowledge doc. I can do that because I think there's some stuff in there that Jives would not know necessarily, but he would have at least the bare bones version of it.
Okay, cool. So, all right, hold on, Jives, and you know, if we talk to this guy over here, don't don't mention Demogorgon or the Prince like by name. Like refer to
What should
him
I
as.
refer to him as?
How about the
Like a hybrid symbol of male and female.
how about like the how about just refer to him as chaos, just chaos.
Chaos. I can do that.
From now on. Hopefully, and I'm like, well, shit, hopefully that doesn't give him another freaking headache. But so yeah, I'd come back over and be like, okay, Finn, I guess I don't know if I've got anything to help for like the right now, but you get most of your power from like a eldritch sort of deal, sort of quid pro quo, right?
Maybe. I don't know about the quid or the pro or the quo part, but yes, I do get my power from some kind of supernatural, like higher being.
Well, do you know them by name? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Well, is it because the whole I don't know if the fact that we were fighting against and I'm gonna like look towards Jives, the you know
Chaos.
Yeah, speaking of chaos.
Finn, as he says that,
Oh,
it's not a pain. It's not necessarily like a pain, like a shooting pain that causes you physical damage, but instead it's like getting pinched on your arm. Like there was a reaction, just wasn't nearly as strong as it could have been.
What the fuck do you keep saying that keeps hurting?
all
It's
right.
not like the ice
So,
pick to the brain, but that one still felt it.
all right. Well, okay. Well, if you so
And did that happen pre-curse? Or is that a curse thing?
It happened pre-curse.
Okay.
so I don't know if the curse situation that you have going on is a relationship, but I'm not sure how much you know about like the before times ancient history type stuff.
I
But
just know there was a big war and Eldath lost, and he said that the current like church is lying about what happened.
well, I don't know a whole lot about the current church and what they're saying, but so it's Eldath that is your guy then, right? Or your
Mm-hmm.
you know. Well, do you know the relationship between him and uh, what the hunger was
I'm
an
assuming
aspect
it's an
of?
adversarial one based on like the pain that it causes me every time. I'm assuming you're saying some name or like I don't actually
Yeah,
hear it. It's just I get a fucking ice pick right in the fucking back of my skull every time you guys say something.
yeah. What we've been referring to is literally Aldath's direct uh, competitor or antithesis, essentially the like complete opposite of him, and they have basically been fighting since the beginning of time. And again, this is all just me sort of kind of putting things together, maybe connecting dots that aren't connected. But I don't know if the fact that this first latched onto you was like it was only you that was going to get it, or it was because it was extra bad because you got it, or what? Because, but I'm assuming there's got to be something to do with the fight between the two and how intense this curse is on you.
Yeah, that tracks.
But my guy here, Jives, is is pretty well versed in, if there's anything you're curious about LDAF. I don't know if he might be a good resource for it. So anytime you're interested,
Cool.
he knows not to give you your headaches, at least.
That'd be
He's
great.
had ones.
It's a different pain than the crippling hunger pangs that I'm dealing with, but it's, I think, a lateral move at best.
Sure. Yeah.
And the
well,
hunger part doesn't really go away, so.
Great. Well, hopefully tomorrow between us or the druids, we can
Yeah.
do something about that.
I'm all
Yeah.
for that.
I'm gonna try something tomorrow morning. I just need time.
Alright.
All right. Hey, also, do we like so do you all have any like information recon gathering abilities? Like I've got a spell that I usually cast each night if I've trying to get some intel on the next days or a week or so. Um, I don't know. This might be a time to help with that as well.
If you mean like scouting without being seen, I can be like a rat or a mouse or a cat.
Well, don't we have
Um,
we have like the good night book, right? We can just
well,
like write our
Yeah.
question, and the next night it gets answered.
We do have that. I think we have
It
2
was-
questions left.
Holy shit, that's like
Oh,
an
do it?
item.
I thought
or
it did it.
something,
I thought it
or-
recharged.
It might recharge. Let me see.
Mind if I take a look at that and see if I can't,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
We've had
All
this
right.
thing for a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Sure.
Charge
Well,
can be
I mean,
regained by casting a 3rd level or higher into the book, or on the book.
Ah.
So you can charge it up. Otherwise, it takes a little bit of time to. That
I've got some.
which what? Hold
There's
on.
some
I don't think I've
spell
actually.
slots.
You guys used it when you were in Yord, correct?
Yes, we use it like once.
One moment here.
Charges can also be regained by rolling a d20 after every long rest. On a 16 or higher, it regains a charge.
I'm
Oh,
doing that
nice.
right now.
So we can get it.
It's been a couple weeks since you guys were in Yord, so okay. Yep. At least I finally. It didn't recharge up until like a week ago, but it got there eventually.
Okay.
So we can cast spells into it to instantly recharge it. Elsewise, it's a 25% chance every time we wake up.
Correct.
That's a quick rundown.
So, yeah, Drost, you take a look at this, and no roll required or anything like that. You can feel the power, and I think the full description of it is in the identified items tab.
Yes. I believe so.
Yes, yes, it is.
Sweet. So I'm just gonna say, like, okay, if anyone has, other than like, trying to get an idea of how the best way to move forward with taking care of Finn and the curse, any specific like questions for the next few days? I can use the divination spell as a ritual. It's not, it's a minor sacrifice, gold expense to cast a spell, but I can do it every day and get some relatively decent insight to a short question that I ask. Sort of the
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, I'm thinking about trying to, like, ask for at least a guideline on how to attack this curse situation. And then yeah, as far as the book here, I don't know. I mean, I think we should probably use as much of it as possible, or as much of these things as possible, if even if we're trying to plan further ahead, because it seems like the torch was trying to eye us up to get an idea of, like, it seemed almost like, what was he trying to take a look at us, like, to see how much sport we would provide, or I mean,
Go ahead and roll an
I don't
insight check.
know.
Probably.
Who, me? Oh shit, that's not.
Yeah. Now that you're kind of thinking about it, anyone who wants to, now that it's said in character,
Insight.
anyone who wants to roll an insight check, go right ahead.
Yeah, there it is.
Drost, you have a new toy in your hands, and you are not focusing.
Yeah.
New toy with endless knowledge possibilities, I might add.
Yeah, I shouldn't have even rolled for as far as that goes.
Yeah, Red Fires, you both, you've been in a couple scraps at this point. You recognize the eyes of someone who was maybe hoping for more of a competition, more of a challenge, and found you wanting. So you get the sense that had you guys been there in, like, fully prepared, like fresh out of asleep and ready to fight, he probably wouldn't have just left.
Yeah, I feel like if we come across him in the morning, we're gonna have a fight on our hands.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, he was obviously like fucking flying with fire feet and hands, so
Yeah.
that's not something I'm familiar with, magic-wise.
True, jet engines don't exist in this world yet.
Jet feet. Hmm. All right. Well, I'm gonna go to my spot and ponder some uh, wordings on questions to write and ask.
All right.
Okay.
Is it bedtime?
Yeah, I was going to say, is there anything else anyone wants to handle before taking a long rest? And Drost, are you writing in the book before you go to bed?
Yes, I am. Okay, so I gotta read more of the specifics of the book, see what I want to ask the book and what I want to ask via spell. Okay, good night book. All right, so are we to assume that it's fully charged?
It is now fully charged,
The
yes.
book? Okay.
They have not used it very often, and the last time they did use it, it's been long enough that it has recharged.
Okay.
I believe it takes anywhere from 1 to 4 days to actually give you an answer.
Yeah, so that's the thing is the time frame on that. We would have to ask the non-immediate question in there. So like, I'd hold the book up like, anybody have a specific question for the book? Otherwise, I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna let it go to waste. So I'll just ask it a couple of questions or two, best I can come up with.
Well, let's see.
While you do that, I'm going to pull up the lunar cycle that I developed for this world so I can remember when certain things are supposed to happen.
Oh, Corey, on level up, are you cool if I swap out my frostbite cantrip for a druidcraft cantrip?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay, cool.
Oh, holy shit! 4 charges can be expended at midnight to teleport 6 creatures to the location. Oh, fuck! That could be.
Yeah, it's quite useful.
Just remember
helpful.
that it doesn't take into account the surroundings of that area. So, like, if you name a location that you don't know is, underwater or in the middle of a volcano, well, instant TPK.
Right. Yeah.
A hidden
Yeah.
temple of fire appear in the middle of a volcano.
Right. Yeah, for sure. We will need to be very specific. At the bottom of the stairs to the temple of whatever,
Or the
as
deck
far
of the
as the
Rebel Yell,
location.
if we ever need
Yeah,
a quick
exactly.
teleport back.
Well, it's you can only do it at midnight, so
Yeah.
it's something that we would have to prep for, or be like, at midnight need to get out. So yeah. All right.
Oh, and I should add, tomorrow when we wake up, we will officially have fast travel, at least from where places we are familiar. As long as I know the tree, we're good.
Oh, nice.
Hold on, I thought that was a 7th level spell, if that's the one I'm thinking
It
of.
says 5th. Tree stride.
Okay, I was thinking transport via plants. Tree stride's a little more limited, isn't it?
Is that a personal
Let me
thing?
see.
Transport via plants is the one, like, if I know a tree, I can walk through it. Tree stride, I think,
Oh,
is
okay,
like more
okay.
localized.
Okay, 500 feet. That's not as good, but
I mean, still good, but
yeah,
not cross the entire world. Good.
yeah, that makes sense. Scratch that.
I'm trying to remember what you can do that. I think as a dreams druid, I think, but I can't remember what level you get that at. 14th. Okay, my bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, your any place that you did your little circle, I think, turns into a teleportation circle.
Nice. All right.
Okay. So yeah, if you all right, so because of how that book works, let me make sure. Did I say you have to have it written down before night?
Yeah,
After
I think
24 to
it's
96 hours on the. Okay, so it has to be written before the next rising of the moon at the very least. So yeah, if you want to take a little time to figure that out, so long as you get to it before the end of like the next day, it should be fine to
okay.
eventually get answered.
All right. Well,
So yeah,
so yeah, that might be more of like either the torch or so. Yeah, I've got all kinds of questions. The fucking mystics and all that stuff too. So I might use the book for that type of stuff that we're not super in the shit of right now. But as for the divination spell, I'm gonna cast it as a ritual, and I'm gonna gather together um, some materials and um, burn them in a little ceremonial fire. And I'm gonna ask the question I'll ask is uh, would we will we need to seek um, will we need outside assistance for handling the curse on and I'm going to gesture toward him, but I don't know if that works with the spell. To be specific, like that is affecting Finn Stormraven here.
okay. Let me look at the specifics of divination here. Question concerning. Okay, so your question was, will you need outside assistance to deal with the curse?
Yes, trying to be vague, but yet sort of. Yeah, I'm realizing that's maybe not super helpful either because that's not specific in. Yeah, I meant to. Yeah. Anyways.
Okay. You whisper the phrase and burn the offering, and you feel this whirl of arcane magic take root, and you hear a phrase in your ear: powers lost, powers gained, new spells learned, new abilities trained, strength of power must be maintained.
Strength of what was the last phrase? Strength of
Strength of
power.
power must be maintained.
Okay.
What'd your little magic spell tell you, Drosty? Can you fix me?
Well, it's not always as specific as I'd like it to be. But my impression is that our group, and I'm going to look towards the girl Wonder Twin and whatever the hell her name is, and like I don't. It seems like maybe if we find the right spell that we've recently gotten access to, or the right type of magic, we might be able to take care of it ourselves. The something about the powers must be maintained. That's the part that I'm not sure um, I'm familiar with.
Huh.
So, I mean, no pressure, but worst case is I don't know if your people here are able to do much. Might
They
be able to
should be able
outsource it
to,
anyways.
but I don't know if they can do more than what I'm gonna try tomorrow. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Well,
Tyler, roll me a wisdom check real quick. Just flat
Okay.
wisdom. God damn. Yeah, that's going to be high enough. You watched your aunt only use some of her power. Like the most obvious like show of her power had been when she did the produce flame and things like that. But you felt her literally commune with the forest around you and felt like the immensity of her power. You're pretty
Yeah.
strong as a druid. She's stronger. You know that for a fact. How strong is a question that you're not entirely sure, but you are confident that she is, at the very least, more powerful than you.
I mean, if all else fails, we can just ask my aunt. She seems like she knows what her shit.
Cool. So
well,
did he
sounds like
actually?
it's a
Do we use
tomorrow.
the Goodnight book? Does it take a charge?
That was me asking me using
Okay,
the divination spell,
gotcha.
which is kind of shifty. But as long as we're and yeah, I mean, I would mention to the group as I looked at the book, like we could ask this thing a couple of questions as long as we get them in before, like middle of the day or end of the day tomorrow, as far as what the moon cycles and stuff like that are doing. Um, we should be able to get an answer somewhat soon, and I would probably look for questions or looking for answers about like the mystics and you know where they are and what other stuff they're up to with trying to pull the hunger into this realm.
Drost, when you're saying all this out loud, did you put Jives away, or is he still like floating around you?
I would I'd have him be floating around like.
So, did you mention the Mystics?
Yeah, the mystics.
Mystics of Meridia?
Yeah,
Oh,
we just had a run-in with them.
that appears to be one of the bases of knowledge I have. Provided you have the correct
Hmm.
password, I would be happy to provide that information to you.
Password? What are you talking about?
Yes, I was encoded with several passwords.
Oh, I'd look at the rest of the group. Do we know much about anybody? Get the sense if we got any like information on passwords?
Passwords.
I'd look through like the notes that I took from the arcane journal and stuff for any sort of anything that would be like password related to the mystics.
I mean, the name of the prince would be like something.
Okay. I would walk a ways away from Finn at this point and try to get like a wall between me and him or something like that, and attempt like, yeah, Demogorgon the Prince. That ring any bells, Jive?
So, what language do you say it in?
I would probably speak it in common and whatever I'm talking with Jives.
Okay. You say it out loud in common, and Jives just goes, "I'm sorry, sir. That does not appear to be the correct password."
Okay. Was there any other different? I mean, was the Arcane Journal written in common,
It was written
or
in
were
common.
there?
Yes.
And wasn't any other languages in
Nothing you
there
saw.
that I would have gotten. What about what was the the crystals, the keys? Were they in a different language?
Yes, they were. They were in Abyssal.
Well, okay, so it's a little meta since you were asking me about what language I asked. Would that be something that Drost would be able to put together, or
You have a high enough intelligence,
is
yeah.
he
As you're
just
thinking
simply
back to
saying,
like
"Oh no, that's
everything
not the
that you
right
walked
word"?
through the lab, like there was. I mean, just trying to connect dots. Yeah, there was some stuff written in Abyssal there in the lab. Couldn't hurt, right?
All right, so it was Tyler that sort of translated those for us, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like peek out of whatever door that I went through. Tyler, come on over here.
Yeah.
Stay away from Finn.
Okie dokie.
Hey, can you tell Jives? Can you say Demogorgon the Prince in whatever language that those crystals were written in?
Abyssal?
What was that anyway? Yeah, was that Abyssal?
Yeah, that was Abyssal.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. Yeah, would you mind? He needs
Sure.
apparently he needs some password to unlock his knowledge.
Right. I do that.
Come on,
I
Yeah, all right.
translate.
Say
Go on here, pick
Demogorgon, the
up the
Prince in
torch.
Abyssal. And both of you hear an audible click, and Giles goes, "Oh, that appears to have done it."
Okay, hey, before we get too far into that, Jives, what do you know the other topics that you have, or is that something that we need to just stumble across?
Go ahead. I need you to roll me a persuasion check real quick because this is going to set.
That's something I'm really good at.
He needs to roll, and it's going to be a contested thing.
Fun. So, sorry, persuasion check.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I would be knowing that I would need to persuade myself or persuade him, and wouldn't be. Okay, never mind.
Well,
Wouldn't be guiding myself.
I'm going to roll just for the sake of seeing if he crits. If he doesn't,
Do it.
it won't matter much. Son of a.
oh my God.
Okay, so the odds. All right. So
does he have a better charisma modifier?
well, it's not a charisma modifier he was looking for. So that essentially what you were trying to do, you were trying to talk him into giving up information that he wasn't sure he had, and essentially like talk him into seeing if he had it and wanted to give it up. You were very persuasive at doing that. He now knows all of his topics, and you talked him into it. So, well, Well, if I look here, it looks like the other two topics that are still password locked involve the lost cities of Meridia and the ascension of Lucifer Lightrock the First to the role of Imperator and first
Whoa, whoa,
Emperor
whoa,
of the
whoa!
Empire.
Oh.
I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna flip my journal
Oh.
open and take notes there. Okay, so
So
the
I'm
Meridia
officially
and
Lost Cities of Meridia. What I'm going to do, now that you know what they are, I'm going to throw Jives' item description in identified items.
sweet.
Because, yeah, with that
Very
persuasion
nice.
score and with his natural 20 on intelligence, he remembers everything about himself.
Cool. Hey, Jives. Nice to meet you.
To meet you too, I'm also going to remove the password locked on Mystics because you guys did unlock that.
Okay, so
Whoa.
Jives. So these are okay. These are going to be really interesting topics to talk about, and you need passwords for these other two, the Lost Cities of Meridia and the Ascension of
Lucius
Dingleberry.
Leftfoot.
Correct. Miss
Huh.
Taliesin thought it was of prudence that this knowledge be locked somewhere, but did not want anyone to get access to it.
Who was it that, or you're saying you're not sure who it was?
My
Either?
original creator, Arcanist Ilridian Taliesin.
Oh Jesus. Okay. All right. Cool. So where were we? We were trying to unlock. Oh Jesus, the mystics.
Yes, so where's my factions document? Because I'm about to just copy and paste a bunch of stuff after I do a quick read through. So the information he gives you is keep scrolling. Come on, load. Google. Quit being so slow. Yeah, so he essentially details. Apparently, since the inception of the Empire and the founding of the Order of Magi, there were mages even during that time when the Order was created that thought magic should be gone. It should be without imperial supervision and be allowed to be wild and free. And over time, those mages eventually formed an order known as the Mystics of Meridia, who originally did have that noble purpose of like raw magical experimentation, no rules, like full on libertarian magic users. Like, government's not telling me what to do. I do what I want. I'm going to figure it out all myself. And then they ended up getting co-opted, and because you already unlocked the initial part about the creation war and Demogorgon, Demogorgon had a hand in that. He found a bunch of powerful magic users who essentially didn't give a shit about what was being done, and essentially said, "Hey, you guys want some more power to be able to do whatever you want? Here's more power. Do whatever you want. Reap untold atrocities on man if you care. I don't even just do it." And since then, the Mystics, they keep a very, very low profile, and there isn't ever. While there are certain figures that are thought to be like members, it's very like hush hush secret order type deal. You're not going to find any kind of like ledgers of who's a member of the order and who isn't. And there's no real way of knowing unless you directly confront someone and have proof that someone is a member of the Mystics. It could be anyone, it could be no one, but they are effectively servants of this of Demogorgon, and are actively like out there just using power
Yeah.
given to him, wreaking havoc among other mage kind, blaming it on others, and more than likely furthering his goals as a result of that.
Is there anything? I'd be directing this at Drives if he didn't sort of just spill it all. Is there anything about like a structure or organization, or is it just more or less chaos on chaos?
Well, it acts as a sort of meritocracy in that sense, in the same way that the Order of Magi does. It keeps relatively to the same structure. While all members of the Mystics see themselves as higher than the Order of Magi, those within the Order who are higher than their fellow members in the Mystics see themselves as superior to others. So if you were to, say, find an Arcanist and a Journeyman Mage who were both in the Mystics, the Arcanist would be the superior to the Journeyman in just about every regard. Although it is known, at least from Arcanist Tal'Zin's recordings, that the typical de facto leader of the Mystics is often known as the Trainer and is essentially a titled role that serves as the trainer of the Imperial Black Guard.
Oh. Well, we knew they were connected.
Yeah, and you know a little bit about the Imperial Black Guard. In the same way that you know, like the Light Blades are these powerful hulking figures in arcane power armor and things like that. The Black Guard are exclusively meant to guard whoever sits on the Light Rock throne. But if the Black Guard get involved, no one lives. There has never been a witnessed atrocity of the Black Guard because no one ever survives an encounter with the Black Guard.
I'm just gonna look at Tyler and be like, The Mystics are probably a lot closer connected to the power structure of the Empire than at least I had expected.
Yeah. Yeah, not
And
great.
the whole Demogorgon situation is curious.
Yeah, I feel like it's
with the power of the Empire behind it.
yeah, I feel like that's an important tidbit to know.
All right, well, thanks, Drives. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Jives.
Of course. Have a good rest of your night. And you feel the orb kind of like power down a little bit.
Yeah, I'll put him back in my bag, and back to the other guy.
Where did you get Jives again?
He was just something I picked up. Thought he was just, just a sassy guy that we've kind of been back and forth a little bit, and I found him in a crypt that with another group of people. As I was looking, I was looking, and I was kind of like mentioning my cloak. I was kind of trying to track this certain item down, but this turned out to be just a sort of a red herring, and we found this guy. So I don't know. Apparently, maybe he's even more valuable than it, as far as information goes.
He seems to know a lot about a lot of things.
Well, at least a lot about the shit that we've stumbled our way into.
Yeah. So weird.
Yeah, I suppose, catch the rest of the crew up a little bit. At least maybe get them start to think about, I don't know what the fuck passwords we would need to find for these other topics, but I bet they'll help connect a lot of dots once we can get that information out of Jives.
Yeah, be sure to keep our ear out for passwords.
Right, or any sort of related topics.
For sure.
So yeah, I would be very careful to not mention the painful words for Finn.
Appreciate that.
But I'll catch up the rest of the group.
Yeah, we'll catch him up.
Like, is it okay if I even like is chaos? Or should we get even vaguer than that? Like, should we maybe just say like banana, and that's like what we're referring to?
I mean, chaos is fairly. I think it's the intent. I'm pretty sure banana might feel the same way.
Yeah, I suppose.
Only
Like,
one
I
way to
know.
find out.
Oh God!
Testing required.
Somebody said banana.
So the mystics are trying to release banana.
It's that same pinching sensation, but
Yeah.
you hear the word banana. By the way, when he said chaos, you did hear the word chaos.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
just
no,
when
those
he
get
said
through. It's the other
the
ones
other
that I
two
don't
words
even
that
hear them.
physically pain you. Yeah, you do not hear those.
Yeah, but no, it is the intent. So I think chaos is fine because banana feels the
Yeah.
same way.
Okay, good, because I like bananas and I don't really want that associated. So
Yeah, every time we hit a fruit cart, I fucking black out.
Be interesting to see.
All right.
at
Well,
least.
let's see what we can do about this curse tomorrow.
Be fantastic. Because fuck me, I don't know how this is unpleasant. I don't know if this is sustainable, guys. I'll be honest with you.
yeah,
I mean,
let's get a
I
good
think
night's
most of you guys
sleep.
have been with me for a while, know that like my psyche's not exactly on fucking solid footing to begin with.
Yeah, get a good
So,
night's sleep. We'll see what we can do in the morning.
all right.
All right. As everyone's heading to bed, Drost, are you writing anything in the good night book?
Um, it's just any questions, right?
Anything you want?
Yeah,
Nothing that's super time
I'm
sensitive. No, that's the only thing
right.
we have
Yeah,
to remember.
exactly. I'm just gonna fire off some questions about uh
Specify. It is one question per night.
oh, okay. I didn't know if it was per charge,
Yeah.
but it's
If you can like
each question is
theoretically
a
you could stack them
charge.
up, like put one in for tonight, put
Yeah,
one
yeah,
another
yeah.
one in tomorrow, and then like have them all get answered at once. But
Sure. And it burns a charge per question.
per question.
Um and then yeah, the chance of recovering or
Oh, if it needs topped off, I can handle that.
stuffing it with magic.
I get my magic power back pretty quick, and it's fairly powerful at this point.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Okay, cool. Well, I might be greedy, and I'm gonna ask it for keywords relating to the lost cities of Meridia.
Okay, so you're asking for the password
Um,
for that one.
I will. Well,
How are
yeah.
you phrasing the question? Let's put it this way.
I'm going to ask. I'm gonna ask it for, and I know nothing about the lost cities of Meridia, or like maybe that they exist. Um, I'm just gonna ask it the names of the lost cities of Meridia. Who knows what kind of response I'll get on that.
The names of the lost cities of Meridia. Second, just making sure.
Or in any sort of like more coherent, way that Drost would formulate it.
Okay, I got that noted down. All right, and with that, as you bed down, you all finally, after what feels like the longest day you've ever had, because it took 3-4 sessions worth, uh, you finally bed down and take a long rest. Finn, real quick, what is your Constitution modifier?
It is probably not great. Oh, it's not bad. 3 plus 3.
Okay. put down somewhere that you have 5 days.
Okay.
Just in case
Oh, dear.
just in case it needs to be
Right?
noted somewhere.
I was just gonna say that's
Okay.
is that a
Does this count
do
as
we
a
want
day?
that to be
So
high?
am I down to 4?
So you are at 5. You started at 6.
Oh.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
you wake up and the hunger is even worse because you have now gone a full day without eating.
Oh.
Well, essentially without eating anything.
Yeah, let's go see your aunt. Because this is not great, guys.
Well, here, let me try something.
All right.
Come here.
Did you try and druid? What you got for me?
I'm
What
gonna
are you taking a
cast
swing
some
with?
greater restoration.
That's what I was waiting for. All right. That is a 5th level spell, correct?
Yep.
Good news. You don't take psychic damage.
Yay.
Bad news. Doesn't
Need you
do
to roll.
shit. Uh-oh.
What?
I need you to make me a spell attack roll. So it'll be
Ooh.
just a d20 plus, I think, whatever your spell attack modifier is, which I'm guessing it would be 9 right about now.
Let me look here. Yeah, it's 9.
All right, so d20 plus 9, if you don't mind. Okay, roll me one more check. It's going to be a wisdom, it's just straight up wisdom check then.
Okay. Oh my god.
Oof.
Oh, hold on. Now, I wasn't expecting that one.
Thinking about
Nobody
your mom,
expects
huh?
it.
Roll me a d100, please.
Ooh.
Oh boy. Lately in the games I've been in, D100s have been fun.
100s can always be fun. 15.
Low is good, right?
Yeah, low as
Okay.
hell.
Okay. Well,
Shit.
it's
I love
yeah.
laughing.
Good news,
Like,
you're not dead,
it's like
but
it's like 3rd edition. You got to roll under your percentile.
Yeah. It's the best, right?
So, as you cast Greater Restoration, you can feel the magic that you are using here has some kind of effect. You can almost feel like the curse slowly being lifted. Like whenever you're starting to get like trying to remove a sticker from something, and you start getting just like the corner piece and slowly lifting up. The problem is it wasn't applied just right, and you ended up ripping a little too much force on it, so it did not go the way you wanted, and the spell rebounds a bit. There's a flash of light, and you're pushed backward, and you land on your ass after casting the spell. And when everyone looks at you, you have a beard made of flowers.
Nice.
that's a new
Oddly
look.
appropriate.
Fuck. I don't even notice. I'm just like, we're gonna go see my aunt.
That did not work.
That almost worked.
Gonna
No.
try to get a razor.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
More like some
Finn,
shears.
by the way, mark that down to 4 now.
Uh-oh. Oh, fuck. I think you made it worse.
Uh, sorry.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I think it's time to.
Yeah, let's
I'm
hurry.
I'm referring to myself as well. Like, get rid of let the pros try this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. And as I say that, I'm gonna scratch my face and then be like, what the fuck?
No, you got a flower beard.
I'm gonna start plucking them, putting them in my hair
As
instead.
as you pull them off, new ones sprout to replace them.
Oh. Maybe you guys should go, cause the hell's going on?
No, it's fine. Come with us.
Okay.
Is that the only place you have flowers growing?
I don't know.
Does the carpet
Wow.
match the
I'm kind of
drapes?
scared to check.
Hey, that's my sister.
He says while chuckling.
Yeah,
Damn right.
Okay, let me check and see.
This was a
Okay,
funny
just need to
question.
make sure something. Not wrong. Yeah, no, you guys head off into the camp and make your way to the Glade of the Fury. And once again, Ilrin is just sitting there in a kind of a meditative pose. And as soon as you guys cross the threshold into the glaive or into the glade, her eyes open up and she sees you guys. Oh, hey, good morning. So glad to see. Immediately clocks the beard. Um, Bold fashion statement.
Thanks.
Yeah. Is that she like? She's like, may I?
Please?
She pulls one of the flowers and she's like, "Oh, that's lovely. Oh, it grew back. Okay.
Yeah, I tried that.
What caused this?
Okay, our friend Finn here is cursed, and I tried to lift the curse, and this happened. I fell on my ass, and then I stood up, and I had a beard of flowers.
Tried to lift a curse, fell on your ass after it went wrong, and you have a beard of flower. Okay, well, it sounds like magical feedback loop. So she looks at the beard again. I don't think this is actually going to hurt you. It'll go away after its own thing after a while. Let me look. You said he's cursed. And you watch her eyes just flash white as she stares like deep at you, Finn.
Mhm.
Oh, oh, um, okay, yeah. Cursed is a mild understatement there. That is something deeply tied to him now. I'm guessing you want that gone, right?
Very much so.
Okay. That can be arranged. You said you already tried with a fairly powerful spell?
Yeah, Greater Restoration.
Okay, I know that one, and I can probably take a swing. How hard did I'm assuming just mechanically, she's just trying to figure out like what level you cast at, and she.
Yeah, I just figured out how to do
Whatever
this,
she did made
so-
it worse.
Okay, I'll try to hit it with something a little bit bigger then. Let me try. You watch as she just kind of pulls. There's a couple different like gusts of wind going through the glade. She just kind of pulls a couple of them together into the swirling orb, and then slowly blows it in your direction, Finn. And she is going to try at a higher level. In fact, she's going to try at the highest level she can. Which, where is? Need to look at my own notes for this. Okay. So that is going to be a d20 from her.
Mm-hmm.
What the
You
hell?
are down, marked down to 1 there, Finn.
No!
Joe, you might be giving up that wish ring there, Taylor.
Yeah, I might
Yeah,
be.
for real.
So no joke, the DC got lowered by 6 because of the level she's casting it at.
Mm-hmm.
She has a plus 11. Like she could have hit this fairly easily.
So easy.
Mm-hmm.
It is okay. I am wondering if I can use. So I have the chronal shift ability. Is that
You're gonna do
something
some
that?
time fuckery?
Well,
Ooh.
would I have been able to notice that it, it's a reaction? So would I have been able to notice, like, did she, like, would she have flinched, or would she have like cursed, or would she
Mhm.
have?
Yeah, you would have
Um,
seen very quickly as like the magic she was pushing the magic, seeing the reaction as it wasn't taking. So if you want to
yeah,
use your reaction,
I'm gonna do some time fuckery, and the first the first thing we do today, I'm gonna burn one of my 2 ability or options for this. So yeah,
all
why
right.
don't you try that roll again?
That's a lot better.
I was gonna say it's a little better.
Yeah. So you guys watch as she's like pushing this in, and like the magic rebuffed her. She landed on her ass as well, and was about to start having to roll to see what the hell happened. But there's this just sudden like shift of everything in this scene. It reverts back to when she's pushing it, and it suddenly finds purchase. And let me make sure here. Finn, go ahead and erase that counter.
Okay.
The hunger feeling, you do still feel it, but not nearly as severely as you did not even a minute ago. This now
That's
feels
better.
like you went to bed on an empty stomach rather than you haven't eaten in 3 days.
Okay, well that's better. It's still there though. I still feel something. Is it still there?
So this, what exactly was this feeling that you were having?
Hunger. Like
Have you eaten anything in the last 24 hours since you found out about
I've eaten
this curse?
literally everything I could put in my mouth in the last 24 hours, and it did fuck all. I drank some kind of magic
She hands
stew.
you. She pulls out a thing of rations and like essentially it's a granola bar. She hands you.
Mhm.
Eat it.
Chomp chomp.
You are back to normal.
Oh,
Couple
I feel
bites. It's essentially a good berry bar. You are completely filled for the day.
A good berry bar.
Your hunger is completely gone.
Alright.
Is it permanent? Is the question.
Well, and her eyes kind of flash white again as she looks you over. I mean, there's still something tied to him, but it's not it's not that like shadowy cloud like normal. You're a warlock, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, that checks out. He's normal. Well, as normal as he's probably going to be. Strands I'm seeing, I think they're whatever ties you to your patron. And in fact, Finn, you do hear at the at the mention of this, that feeling from the backseat passenger, who is very much listening to everything once again, and almost gives this feeling of satisfaction at being back in the seat.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, things seem normal-ish. Or like whatever normal is to me.
All right, well, that's good.
Oh, I'm glad I was able to help with that at least. Odd start to the morning, but
Yeah, if you started growing a flower beard, I was gonna get really concerned.
I think I could pull that off, right? It would
I
look
mean, am
good
I
on you.
pulling it off?
I mean, I think you're pulling it off.
All right.
I mean, if you want me to get rid of it for you, I can do that. But I think it'll go away after like a day or so.
I'll keep it for now.
Badge of honor.
See how it feels
Fair.
for a day.
Taylor, do you want one?
I'm good.
We can match.
I mean, it's the closest thing to
really
facial
wanna
hair that
match?
most elves can ever get. So
You know what? Fuck it. Sure.
she whips
Yeah.
up a flower beard and puts it on your face. Yours won't grow back though.
Fair enough. How do I look?
I guess now they got the whole cursing dealt with. Did you guys talk to them about like joining the rebellion? Toppling
We
this
didn't
empire?
really get to that yesterday, but I did ask if they were with them, and they're kind of like an independent rebel group, kind of.
Yeah, we've been doing our own thing for the last 400 something years. So not necessarily tied to whatever rebel movement you're tied to, but if you're looking for an alliance, that could probably be arranged.
Well, I mean, that's part of what we're over here for. We're trying to get the towns to turn. Like, we already got Yord pretty much declaring independence from the Empire.
And
now
if you're
we
in
got to
this
try to work
region,
on
you're
Elvenon and then Oakland. Yep.
Well-
Elvenon's next up. We had a little issue in Oakland, so we'll put that one to the back of the queue.
That's fair. Oakland has a lot of issues to begin with, so that doesn't surprise me. As far as Elvenon goes, we don't necessarily have a lot of pull, but if you're needing extra forces or intelligence or anything like that, we're happy to link up with your agents and provide whatever is needed.
I'm surprised, like, it's your like brother-in-law, so I'm surprised you guys haven't like talked yet.
Oral's running the other rebellion?
Yep.
Since when?
Since forever, I think, right?
Yeah, I think he was kind of in it at the beginning.
We're talking about the same Toral here, right? Like, tall dude, square jaw, looks kind of like a
Yep.
square, like in general.
Yep. Square
Not
as
doesn't
as
do
a
a lot of
circle.
fun stuff usually.
Yep.
He's running the rebellion.
Apparently.
I'm sorry, did you just say square is a circle?
I did say square as a circle.
Okay, I thought that was my head
It's an
messing
odd
with me for a
description,
second.
but it kind of fits. I'm not gonna lie. That huh. So a lot has happened since yeah. No, I haven't been in contact with him. He kind of threw himself into his work, from what I've been led to believe, after Aranora's passing. So I hadn't heard anything about him. So this is all news to me. But if he's running it, I mean, it might make things a little easier. Or, well, and she looks at herself and has that realization of like, I look like his dead wife. This might not make things easier.
Maybe not.
I can send messengers. It'll be fine.
You
The
could
trees.
make your face look different for him if you
It's
wanted
true.
to.
I can. He knows who I am, though. Like, he'd know. Might just have like
Yeah.
can just have the tree speaker deal with him. That might make things a little simpler for everybody involved. Yeah, I'll have to do that. Um, yeah, if you can send some of his agents or anything like that our way, or if you want to let him know, like, we're happy to be of assistance, we'll happily do so. We've been kind of doing our own thing for, well, just about as long as the Empire's been around. So we might have a little bit of a head start on his organization, but we can probably help each other out.
Yeah, we got a couple irons in the fire in Elvenon, so we got a couple good leads. We're trying to get them to turn to.
Well, if you need forces for anything in Elvenon, we can try and provide something. I can't promise that we'll, necessarily be able to overpower the Legion there, but we may be able to have some creative assistance if needed. But let us know; we'll be happy to help. Or yeah, if there's any
Okay.
like information you need, we can try to get it for you.
Yeah, do you guys have any insight on where this torch dude fucking rests his head?
I wish we did. Well, part of me wishes we did, and part of me is happy we don't, because if we did, I'd have to go kill him for everything he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not 100% certain I can do that alone. So,
Well, it certainly
No.
wouldn't be alone. Like pretty much everybody here is ready and willing to go fucking put that dude under.
that doesn't surprise me. He's made quite a few enemies on both sides of the conflict, I think, with his actions, at least from what our intel has said. So, yeah, we don't. We know he's from the south, at least down in the Silk Sand Desert. From what reports, based on his accent and his appearance, at least that's where we believe him to be from. But I mean, if he's an arcane caster, he's capable of moving around the continent at a very quick rate. So it's hard to tell. Or he may be camped out somewhere here in the Redwood with the rest of his forces. So difficult to figure out, unfortunately.
Would we have an idea? Do you have an idea why he would be like destroying his own forces, or is he just that?
I think he's just a murder happy douchebag. Right?
As much
Yeah, he
as
just
I
really
try
likes
to
to
see
kill
the best
shit.
in people, your friend Finn isn't wrong. From old descriptions of him, he kind of doesn't care about anything. Kind of leader who doesn't see sacrificing his own men for whatever he sees as the cause to be a thing that shouldn't happen. So I mean, since this conflict began, he's just been throwing forces after forces against us and waiting to see what happens if we break, who breaks. And the displays that happened yesterday with him destroying his own men for failure, that's not the first time that's happened either. So I truly think he might just be a sociopath who's bent on destruction.
Yeah.
Does he have anyone he cares about, I wonder?
If he does, we know nothing about it. We don't know much about his personal, being
Yeah.
anything like that. So
So you say he's been seeming to target you lately?
he targets a lot of things. I've been led to believe that he's not necessarily tied to the army, so he just kind of does what he is inclined to do for the sake of the empire, whether it's burning villages, chasing down, resources and rebels, wiping out whole groups of soldiers, attacking us. He's just kind of all over the place.
Mhm. Chaotic.
To say the least.
Wonder if there's a certain association there.
Well, men with that
Hmm.
kind of power tend to let it run a little too rampant all too often.
I'm
It'd
sure
be
the
the first
blade
time
or
in
whatever.
history.
The blade or whatever has something on this dude.
The Blade, who's that?
It's the,
He
didn't you
killed
tell
Mom.
her like to do the murder to your sister?
What?
Yeah.
So you know who killed Terranora?
I was there, yeah.
What does he look like? Do you know his name? Any other than the blade, anything, any kind of descriptive features?
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I'll describe what I remember of him.
yeah, me too.
Like tallish, hair,
Finn, I
facial
remind you,
features.
you have mask and many faces, do you not?
Oh shit, yeah. No, I didn't. I got rid of it.
Oh, okay.
Damn it. I switched something different. Fuck. I used to. No, when we leveled up, I switched my invocation. Damn it.
Okay.
Mm.
She's gonna roll just an intelligence check real quick. Well, sounds like stock standard Imperial. Damn.
Do you have like an eye patch? Or like
He did not.
like
Did
an
he-
evil looking goatee? How about like a scar? Any like
Hmm.
real like cartoonish villain features standing out?
Nothing like that. No. Dude looked like as imperial as he could possibly be. Shortcut blonde hair, thin goatee and mustache combo, blue eyes, pale skin. You know,
Is this also the guy that was referenced in that journal that was somehow connected to the as like a who the mystic sort of reported to or somehow
yes.
communicated with?
Yeah, they mentioned him. I believe they mentioned it just as the Blade.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that would be the same person.
And all right, so as I look at Finn and Tyler, so we know so what's the connection that would do you know the connection between the blade and the torch other than their
the blade's his boss.
names? Okay.
Yeah, like the blade's the fucking like the muscle for the empire. Right? He's not like the official leader, but he's definitely like
Yeah.
the problem
to your knowledge,
solver.
the Blade is the unofficial problem solver of the Empire. So
And he's got
he doesn't
his
hold
little
an official
minions.
role in the army or anything like that, but he commands Imperial forces all the time.
Yeah, and then he's got his little horsemen, the Tinker,
so
the Traveler, the Torch, and the Wolf.
Yeah.
And one other one that you also are fairly good friends with at this point, the Profligate.
Oh yeah, but he got kicked out.
Kicked
Or
out,
he
left the
quit.
group. It's
Resigned.
It's debatable.
Yeah, it's real he said, she said scenario there.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, based on what the conversation that we had with Jives and the connections with the mystics and the propping up of power in the Empire, would it be valuable to talk to this connection, this previous member or lackey of the Blade, to see if how much connection there is with the mystics and the chaos?
I mean, I guess we could go back. How comfortable are you with male nudity?
I mean, I'm just about as comfortable as I am with any other social scenario, I suppose.
Because this dude's pretty hedonistic, I think, putting it mildly.
I'm not saying we need to go there now, but he might be, if we're trying to connect more dots.
Yeah, I guess now that we know about the mystics, we could probably
Power
go maybe
structure.
hit him up, and I mean, or we
Maybe-
could go back to Hilltown and talk to Narret. Maybe she's like the wolf and isn't like super on board with this, just got kind of roped into it.
There's only one way to
Maybe-
find out.
Maybe she'd be interested in checking out her one of her ships. Yeah, I mean, obviously we got other pressing stuff going on in, Verdant Bay up here, but as far as a medium-term plan. Speaking of Verdant Bay and Elvenon, we got to talk to. And I don't mean to interrupt the conversation with the druids here, but do we got to talk to Emrian and holy shit, we got a whole bunch of
Oh, we got all kinds of unrest to
loose
foment
ends
in
to
Elvenon.
right? Anyway, we got on this topic from like what we were talking to. We were talking to the aunt here about rebellion and her brother or brother-in-law or whatever in the organization.
Well, I mean, I guess you guys want to head back to Elvenon and see what fucking trouble we can stir up.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Yeah. Did you get that straightened out with is she gonna or do we need to be like couriers for information to get these two factions hooked up, or are they gonna figure all that
If
out
you
for
have an
themselves?
agent in Elvenon or something, if you give them our information, I can have a courier posted kind of at the borderlands of our territory, or I can send an agent into Elvenon to look for them if you give me that, whichever you're more comfortable with.
Oh, well, here. What
Yeah.
about Old Boy, the dude with the rats?
Yeah, my uncle.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah, do you
Velnir?
ever fuck
Velnir's
with
still
him?
around?
Yeah, he's in
Yeah,
Elvenon. He's also working with the voiceless.
You see her kind of suppress a chuckle and blush a little bit. So, not to make it weird, but if I was ever going to leave the circle, and I thought about it at one point like your mom did, Velnir would have been mine. So, good to know that he's still around. He has not come around in the last 5 years.
I think he's single, so.
Well, we'll see about that.
Man, for family, you guys don't talk much.
I mean,
Yeah, we're real split up.
yeah, I don't know how much you two want to tell them, but Their mom
Oh, I'm
and
not
me,
one to
like,
talk
yeah.
either.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
Mom
whole
was
thing
kind of the
was bad,
glue.
so
But, I mean, that doesn't have to stay. It doesn't have to be like that going forward now, at the very least. So
there you
you
go.
guys have a home here, should you ever need one.
Oh, hey, do you have any like, not that you need to give it to me. I'd be willing to pay. Like scrolls or tomes. Um,
You're one of the
of
book
like
learners, aren't you?
spell. Yeah, yeah. I'm the
Nerd.
compulsion.
I wish I had something in that regard to give you. My people are more the oral tradition kind of people.
Mm.
So a lot of our teachings are through experience and things like that. So unfortunately, I don't have much in that regard.
Yeah, I never caught on to learning that way. So, appreciate it anyway.
Well, hold on. I might have. Let me think. Actually, and she walks over to one of the trees at the edge of the glade there and puts her hand to it. You watch a section of bark flash in green light, and she just pops it off, like popping off a container lid, and then hands you this like 1 foot by 2 foot long piece of bark with a bunch of arcane runes inscribed in it.
Do I
That
recognize any? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I don't know if you're the kind of wizard that does combat stuff, but if you aren't, this is at least something you can add to your retinue there.
Yeah, I never really. Yeah, that's never. Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks. Can
And then
I?
she kind of looks at the twins real
What
quick,
can
like
I?
free of charge. I'm happy to help. Anyone who wishes to learn our ways is always free to do so, provided they are friendly. And given the company you keep, I'd say that counts.
Awesome.
Well,
Oh,
She
hey,
kind of looks at the. Oh, go ahead.
I had a question about the Visoran Green in town.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I went there, uh, and I was feeling a lot of connection with a certain stone there. I kind of felt like it was talking to me a little bit.
That doesn't surprise me. Do you know the story about the Visorian Green, don't you?
If I do, I don't remember it.
The Visorian Green is said to be the original landing spot for the elves when we first came from the Feywild.
Huh.
It's said that somewhere in the Visorian Green, in that pocket space that's encompassed there is the original site of the portal to the Feywild that can be reactivated by someone with a strong enough connection to it.
Interesting.
You said a very specific stone was talking to you?
Yeah.
Nerd.
You just thought it was the mushrooms.
You
It
want
could have been the mushrooms.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me. Your mother's favorite spot in Elvenon was in the Visorian Green. She
Yeah, I
used to
don't
be
blame
able
her.
to. She used to say that she could almost just barely feel the touch of the Feywild in there. So, if you felt something, I would recommend going back and taking another look.
I seem to have a lot of Fey influence, so I will do that.
Oh, comes from the Eladrin side of us.
Yeah. But thanks. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, of course. And Taylor, she looks at you. I would recommend at some point, if you have a little bit of time, maybe taking a look through the Museum of Elvenon Greatness up at Kai Visorian.
Okay.
I think there's something there that might be of interest to you.
Now you're talking my language.
Ooh.
Museums. Maybe they'll have some interesting books there.
It could. Don't know if you'll necessarily be allowed in. It's unfortunately the Visorians, while being the, she puts up air quotes, protectors of elven greatness, they tend to be a little xenophobic in that.
Mhm.
So,
Yep,
just
I get it.
forewarned. They might not say no, but they
I
might
can pick you up
not be
interesting
happy about it.
books.
That would be awesome.
I'm cool picking up books, so.
There you go. It sounds like you guys are heading off, though.
Yeah, thanks for all the help.
Of course, happy
We
to
got places
be.
to be, things to do.
Certainly sounds like it. And she kind of like wipes away a tear as she's looking at the two of you. Be safe. Try to keep in touch if you can.
Yeah, we'll be back.
I hope so. Is it all right if I hug you?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She pulls you both in for a hug, and it is not dissimilar to the way your mom would hug the both of you. She holds on for a little longer than she probably should, and then lets you go. Yeah. Be safe, and may the wind be at your back, safety in front of you. She does a formal elven bow in front of you.
Ooh.
And she goes back to her spot there in the center of the glade, resumes her meditation pose, smiles at you guys, and then closes her eyes, and you feel this kind of wave of force ripple through the forest around you as she's communing with it once more. Her duties as the Fury.
All right.
Well, let's get back to the fucking rebel yell and start kicking ass again.
It's gonna be weird to get used to.
The new name or your aunt?
Yes.
Oh, I mean both, but the new name I was referring to.
Well, you guys head back to the Rebel Yell and get everything situated. Tez is up on the deck. Oh, hopefully everything went well with your family there?
Yeah. Yeah, everything's good.
Good.
It's time to go.
Good, I'm glad. That Dragonborn, he and I had a great time last night drinking with Jerry and the others.
Oh, good. Did Jerry
Yes.
behave himself?
Is he into goat's milk too?
He is not. He's into, well, he's into drinking and then punching. So he and I got along great.
Excellent.
He's also still passed out drunk below deck. Said something about his greatest enemy being killed in front of him, and then proceeded
Oh.
to drink more than I wish he had.
Huh.
Trying to go shot for shot with Jerry.
He outdrank Jerry by a mile and then kept drinking.
Wow, out drinking Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry is still under as well, so...
Well, we're going back to Elvenon to fucking stir up trouble, so.
Oh, goody, that's my favorite.
Hell yeah.
I'll man the guns, and he immediately just runs down to the gun deck. Like a minute later, you hear, "Guns ready!"
We're not
Thanks.
even off the ground.
While you guys are still, like, berth on the ground, by the way.
We'll let you know.
Okay.
Hey, does anyone think it's worthwhile to stop back at that Mystics hideout? I'd really like, if possible, I'd really like to see if I could, I don't know, extract that arcane journal thing for both my own use and maybe to be like an actual tangible proof of connections with the mystics and the Empire and everything.
I mean, I definitely think it'd be worth it.
Might as well.
And maybe, I don't know, if we can somehow brew up our own restoration stew, that would pretty much solve a lot of problems too.
Yeah,
But
that stuff's
that
great.
might just be something that we can get to have done there. Something about local creation or something.
Yeah.
Well, no, don't we have the recipe? Because that was written down,
I think
right?
we do have the
That's
recipe.
right, yeah, we do.
I was like, because we made some.
Yeah, we can just make it whenever.
It would be nice to grab that elemental salts.
Do we have a cook on this
We're
ship?
going to try and do that.
We should get a cook for the ship, and we could give them that recipe, and they could just make nothing but restoration stew.
You have stewards, which technically...
Yeah, I'm sure one of them can cook.
I dabble in alchemy too, so might be able to at least help them get it sorted out.
There you go.
Maybe we just stop there real quick on our way back to Elvenon, see if my other thought was, I don't know if we're trying to snag ourselves some mystics. I don't know if they're gonna like try to retake the place or recover.
Well, hopefully not,
So
right? Because we were just planning on giving that place back to the dude that owned it, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Somehow.
So yeah, I guess we should probably head back and make sure everything's cleared out of it.
Yeah, maybe we can do that quick and then head back to Elvenon.
All right, is that the plan?
Yep. So we should probably fly the ship back to the out of the way cove, and then get on the good foot back to the manor, and then walk back to Elvenon, right? Because we had the ship parked.
Yeah,
we didn't take
you had
it.
It parked.
Yeah.
You had it parked in a cove a ways up the coast from Elvenon.
I say we head back there.
Yep, let's do it.
Did the torch the torch recognize the ship, right?
Yeah, it's a flying ship. There's not a lot of them around, right?
Okay, I suppose. Is it something? Do we think that he's gonna recognize? Not that obviously we're parking it out of the way, but
hopefully
is it going to draw any attention? Maybe, or I suppose what's he doing flying around coves when he's got villages?
Well, I think that's why we're going to park it, right? That way we're not just flying all over the place.
Yeah,
waiting for this fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
All right, so from where you guys currently are, deep in the peninsula, to the spot in the bay that you had previously parked at, you would be flying directly over the site. Do you want to detour around it, or do you want to fly over it, survey it, and then come back on foot?
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea, right? Cruise over it, make sure it's not crawling with Imperials.
Yeah, if it looks clear, maybe me and a couple people can just pop down there and see if we can
I guess
extract the stuff we can extract, and then
you hear Tez yell down from the gun deck, "I can stay here!"
Then maybe we can if it's something that's heavy, I don't know, maybe we can load it onto the ship right there, and then maybe not take long to have a ship floating in the middle of the fucking forest. But
yeah, I think with the torch roaming around, I don't want to have it just
too much of a risk.
Yeah, I'd say we get it down as quick as we can. So I mean, we can swing over, and I guess the first mate can he fly it and land it?
Yes, Rulo is perfectly capable of flying it and landing it.
I mean, I guess if Tez wants to stay, Tez keep an eye on Loki and help land back in the cove, and then he could meet us.
You're also I will remind you, since you guys know the full functionality of this ship, you have a essential landing drop with the gate spell.
Yeah. Oh, that's why.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I mean, I
right.
was figuring we drop the boarding ramp, and then we could just disembark, and then they could go land in the cove, and then we could just meet back up.
Yeah, sure.
That would work. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we'll just have Tez bring Loki with him and meet us in Elbanon once they land, because surely he can find Elbanon from moving back and forth there like at least once, right?
Should be able to. All right. As you guys are making your way towards the site, anyone who's keeping an eye out for it to kind of recon it, go ahead and give me a perception check.
I'll use the spyglass too. I don't remember what that does. Does that give me something?
Go ahead and make that with advantage because you have a significantly farther distance with it. So I'll say you're able to spot it in pretty good detail pretty quickly. Tez is going to go ahead and make a roll as well because he's down in the gun deck looking.
I've been looking at the bark, the runes on the bark.
I was gonna say it takes about an hour travel, so if you wanted to get a good sense of what that spell is, I can tell you now. If you would have spent that whole time doing it,
Other than sort of game planning, I would have for sure been.
it is the
Looking
call
at
lightning
that.
spell.
Ooh,
Two lightning storms at once?
holy
Oh, yeah.
shit! Do I get the sense that I'd be able to decipher that into
Yeah,
my
you get the sense that
spellbook?
she made this piece of bark specifically so you could do that.
All right. Well, that'll take longer than I.
Yeah, I think that's third level, so it'd take 3 hours to transcribe, if I remember. Did you take the new wizard spell that lets you do it in like an hour or something?
Sorry, my AirPod just died on me a second ago. Anyways, yeah. Sorry. What did you say?
Did you take that new spell that lets you transcribe it faster, or is it?
No, that's not. That doesn't add speed.
Okay, it just lets you do it.
It's just a reorganization of where it is. So it's the same, same transcribing speed and everything like that. So like,
Cool. Then
was
yeah,
it
it'll be
an hour
like
per spell level?
Yeah, it'll be like a 3 hour thing. So,
Sure.
so yeah, we'll do that later. So,
Mhm.
Tyler, you do not see anything. Taylor and Finn, both of you kind of keeping an eye out off the side of the deck. As you guys start making your way towards the site, like the general area of the site, you see a large column of smoke on the horizon.
Like from where
And
the
Finn,
manor is?
as you pull up the spyglass and take a look, you can see, you don't see the wreckage of a manor. Instead, you see this giant pit that is completely filled with burned earth, deep into the ground, like at least 40 or 50 feet deep. And based on the size, you're pretty confident you know what this pit filled in.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go back to the manor, guys.
And
What? I
both
look over.
of you, actually, hold on.
I'll pass her the spyglass.
I'm like, fog.
Oh shit, that was a shit roll. Both of you also spot, as you're kind of looking it over. Finn, you see him almost immediately, but Taylor, it takes you a hot minute to notice. In that smoke, like coming from the pit, deep down in that pit, there's a person walking around looking at something.
Does he have a blonde emo haircut and white robes?
No, he is wearing black cloak, and that's all you can see from this distance and angle.
Yeah, I wasn't looking, but
It's all they can see. They just see black cloak, not looking in their direction, just kind of surveying the scene, picking over rubble.
Oh, there's somebody down there.
Are we feeling sassy?
I mean,
They've got to have some connection if they were either responsible for or trying to gain something out of whatever was left.
Man, I'm feeling pretty sassy.
I get into some shit.
So, what's the plan?
So how far away are we?
At this point, you guys are still, I'd say, like 10-minute flight. I'm assuming you guys are at cruising speed, but starting to slow down. So, yeah, like 5-10 minute flight. At least like a league away. So, just out of range of being able to actually drop the ramp, essentially.
What do you guys think? We want to fly in, or do we want to go ahead and? I mean, 'cause I can fucking put the hammer down, and we could like get there fast.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long this guy's gonna be here.
What's the difference between the speed, the capacity of the Rebel Yell and my Periton mount?
Well,
Is there much?
let's see. So your Periton
Oh, I suppose I
has
have
a
the
fly speed
Rebel
of
Yell.
60. The Rebel Yell. There is escape speed of 150 feet per round with no turning, or a 90-foot speed. So it is faster no matter what.
Yeah.
That does not include cruising speed, by the way. Cruising speed is 300 feet around. Because all you're
Jesus.
doing while in cruising speed is just getting the hell
Yeah,
out.
so we're hauling major ass compared to
Yeah.
that bird.
Yeah, it's essentially the version of like putting cruise control on the interstate. Like you're meant to go faster, and you're not meant to do anything other than just go in this direction.
Yeah, yeah. So the bird would be like riding on the prow of the ship or something like that to face us. Okay, yeah, never mind. That won't work.
But it's getting closer and closer, and you guys are just out of range for dropping the ramp. So what are you doing?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Go as
say
fast as
hi.
we can to get to where we can put the ramp down, and then head to the ground.
I don't know how confrontational you want to get, but the Misty Step magnifies the Rebel Yell magnifies range of spells, doesn't it?
It does. Yep. Oh, you guys are in battle speed mode. I think it was 3 times the range.
It was either like 3 or 5 times the range.
5. I don't. Yeah.
Because I remember being able to like with like long
yeah,
range
5.
spells,
It was 5
it was
times.
able to poke out quite a ways. I mean, well, I can reach out with some non-lethal restraint. Either like toss a web out there to stop this person and give us sort of, or if we just roll up on him and
I say just roll up. I don't know, like
Yeah, I don't really want to
seems...
give him a hint.
or start a fight with somebody that we may not be wanting to fight with.
Yeah.
Maybe this is
Yeah,
just like
right.
all we can see is a black cloak. Like this might just be could be the dude that used to own the manor trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah, we don't know whether it's friend or foe yet, so don't want to start something.
I'd say we just
need to start something.
Yep, I'd say flying as fast as we can, drop the ramp, and then walk up.
I'm in.
All right.
So I'm
With that, you
outsourcing
guys-
my social graces.
You guys slow down the ship as you finally get within range. I'm assuming someone activates the drop ramp to open up the gate.
Yep, I got the clicker.
All right. You hit the clicker. A portal appears there on the deck. Who's going?
I am for sure.
I will too. I'm gonna quick cast Gift of Alacrity on
Okay.
myself
I'll be going as well.
for my initiative.
Tyler, you staying on the ship?
No, I'm coming with.
Okay, so all 4 of you then. All right. All 4 of you walk through the gate spell and suddenly appear about 500 feet below you guys. Inside the pit, the ground you immediately step onto almost feels like compacted earth, but still has a little bit of give that you're sinking a little bit with each step. This is very freshly made, and it's somewhere between like actual earth and almost like volcanic earth. It's kind of got that warm textured like feeling to it as you're making steps in here. Everything's kind of soft and heated, and the air around here is also very warm as well. And about 100 feet in front of you is that figure in the black cloak who's still just kind of pondering over some rubble. And everybody go ahead and make an insight check for me.
Oh shit! Well, I didn't have advantage, so just the 19.
18,
My
15,
rolls are
22.
not good today.
Okay. For most of you, it's at a far enough distance, and the fact that like backs to you, cloak up, you're not able to make out a lot. Taylor, you pick up on a couple of very subtle cues. This guy, whoever this person is, they know you're there, and like they're ready to do any like whatever they need to react to what you're doing, but they're choosing not to interact with you at this moment. It's the kind of readied preparation but nonchalance that you typically see in soldiers on patrol. Like they're ready for what if something's about to happen and about to go down, they'll act and they'll be ready to act, but they're not sitting there like full of that tension waiting to snap and are going to inevitably.
What you
You
looking
guys
for?
approach. Oh, all right. Oh, I was just coming to see the sights. Gross, it's a voice you don't recognize. And at this range, the other 3, you do not recognize it as well.
What happened here?
Some bastard flew by, threw a couple of fireballs, and turned the whole land into this.
This your place?
Well, not really mine, just guess I knew about.
Oh, she got like friends in here. Or...
At one point, I wouldn't call them friends, though, more like colleagues.
Oh, cool.
Have you guys stepped any closer, or are you still keeping that 100-foot distance?
No, I'm definitely moving closer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm at least walking till I can see a face.
You said a black cloak?
All black cloak, yeah, and he still hasn't
Not-
turned to face you guys yet. He's still just calling this out over his shoulder a little bit. Everybody but Drost, roll me an intelligence check real quick.
Let's save.
All rolled above a 10. That was all you needed. Tyler, I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh shit.
Because all 3 of you recognize this voice now. You keep yourself from going catatonic.
Oh, shit.
God damn.
Oh,
As
shit.
the man turns around, pulls the hood of his cloak back, and you see a very familiar face to you, Tyler. Because that's a face you're never going to forget.
I don't know if I'm feeling this sassy.
Oh, we should have known when he was the communique courier. Oh shit!
For Drost's perspective, you see someone fitting the description you just heard this morning. He is very classically handsome, has that like traditional imperial look to him, well-defined jawline, piercing blue eyes, short, almost crew-cut blonde hair, kind of a well-kept goatee and mustache combo. Something about the eyes just reads like very, very intelligent, but super analytical as he looks all of you over.
Just to
Been a
eliminate
while,
any
Wolfpack.
possible question, I will use Awaken Mind to tell Dros, like, that's the blade, by the way.
Yep. Been a while, Wolfpack. How you been? Looks like you've got some new friends. Looks like you have a new ride, to say the least. How's it treating you?
She's a pretty good boat.
That she is. Nerit outdid herself when she made it. I tried to get her to make more for the Navy, and she said no, it was always going to be one of a kind, and well, it was a shame it had to go to Forden, but he did make good use of it when he had it. And he kind of stops and he looks over at Drost. I feel like I've seen you before. Where was it?
Maybe we met in a library somewhere.
Oh, it's possible. I've spent quite a bit of time in libraries, and judging from your garb, I would say you did too. Let me see. I know that face is familiar, though. Me. Oh, you're the boy the Humboldts took in and sponsored, aren't you?
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, don't be modest. That was talk of the capital for a hot minute.
Talk of the capital.
Oh, charity cases like that end up as the gossip when there's nothing else going on.
Hmm.
And the Humboldts being as lowly as they are, well, let's just say they aren't known for looking at opportunity to gain a little bit of social class. They're not known for turning something like that away. So, as soon as they offered, I'm not sure if that was the reason they offered you that sponsorship, but they certainly made use of it once they did. Let me tell you that. Since I'm assuming your friends have probably mentioned me in some capacity, but just so we're formally introduced, my name is The Blade. Or at least that's what you can call me.
Now it's your name.
Well, it's a name.
Then my name's the book.
The book. That's very fitting. I like that. Once upon a time, maybe I could have had that name.
There's always a
So,
chance.
well, maybe one day. We'll see. So what are you doing here, Wolfpack? Already heard you were in the
Yeah, we're just
region.
flying over and saw a big hole. Figure we check it out.
Roll me a deception check, please.
I think I have advantage on that because of the captain's hat, right?
Hold on, let me look at the captain's hat.
I'll have to look. I think it said it did.
I don't know why, but when you called yourself the book, I'm sitting here thinking, like, what kind of secret names would I call myself? Oh, I know. Pierce.
There you go.
Oh, no, it's
Well,
intimidation.
Persuasion. Yeah,
Persuasion
persuasion
and
and
intimidation,
intimidation.
not
I mean,
deception.
it's
So.
fitting. So.
Okay.
So, straight deception, please. And I
feel
gotta
like-
find where I threw his character sheet.
I feel like that item would be broken if it would have given Finn deception, advantage on deception.
Okay, he is gonna roll an insight. Natural 5 ain't gonna do it though. Just strolling by and happened to see this. Well,
we saw a giant hole looking at this burned out crater. An asshole.
makes sense,
Just
given you
you.
just had a run-in with my subordinate yesterday.
The column of smoke didn't help either. So.
Yeah.
True, he
Yeah, we
likes
just
to
see
leave
him
a
in there.
trail.
So
Not
it brings you
entirely
out.
sure. Oh, I'm assuming the same thing that brought you here. Checking in on what is the Torch doing over in this part of town when I specifically told him to leave this particular facility alone. And yet, after your confrontation yesterday, he came back and blew it up.
He doesn't seem like a good listener.
He isn't, and that's why I'm here. I was hoping you would come back and just check the area out. I have a proposition for you.
Do tell.
How can we take him out?
I want you to kill the torch for me. And that is where we're going to end the session for the night.
Boy.
Well, now I don't wanna.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, but on that note, I'm going to end the recording here. So thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time.